Yeah, aloha. Oh yeah, that song. I am so professional. I didn't even check, but it is on, so that's good. And I haven't even adjusted. Is that better? That's a bit better. So, like I said, I'm not doing this as a series. Well, it's kind of serious. Actually, nothing else matters. But I'm not going to get in that stuck in the serious perfectionist energy where everything has to be right from the start. You know, it was enough to just get started and do this. Like, just do it. Shouldn't we all just do it? Didn't Nike coin that? Well, just do it. Don't wait for the planets to align. Just start doing it and allow the planets to align with your energy in motion. Oh, I've already started talking. I've got so much coming in constantly, like boom, 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 this way, I've got so much to say, I really don't even know hardly where to start. So I guess that's why I'm trusting that whatever I sit down and allow to just fall out my mouth is the thing that is needing to come out in the moment. So now I've got so many things here, so many things have landed, and I've been processing a lot, and I find that it's really, 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 really important to have that rest time, the downtime, the quiet time to actually integrate and embody things as they come through to you. Because all of us, like if you go outside, right, all you have to do is go outside in the sun when the sun's out. I mean, I feel like even when it's cloudy, it's still coming through. I don't think you can block the energy of the sun even on a cloudy day. I do feel like maybe it's just more accessible when it is a clear day. But just by going out in the sun, you are actually getting codes, you're being upgraded, you're having things come in. I was going to say things coming out, but that's not so much the sun's job. That's where Mother Earth comes in. And that's why, okay, so step one, go out in the sun. You don't even have to, there's nothing you have to do, nothing you have to say. There's no ritual, there's no procedure or process so much, although you can have some, and there are some that I actually practice. I don't even know how they came in, they just came in like a big... So, number one, go out in the sun, because you will be then receiving, it's like software updates. We are actually more like computers than we could imagine, really. In a way, in a metaphorical way, kind of, sort of, maybe there's more to it than that. So think of like the sun as giving you solar software updates just by going outside. And then if you go outside and you actually kick your shoes off and stand on the earth, whether it be on the grass, the ground, the sand, whatever it might be, you are then connecting with the earth's energy, and the earth will actually, it can give you energies that you require for your health and healing, and can also take things that are not required so that you can keep your health and healing really up there, feeling good. So number one, get out in the sun. Hang on. Oh, I should really adjust myself. I feel disheveled. Okay, is that good? I'm good. Okay, number one, go out in the sun. Get your solar software upgrades. Number two, kick your shoes off. Like we are all walking around with rubber sole shoes pretty much. we are all walking around, whereas we could be getting the benefit of the earth's energy and balancing constantly, we are insulating ourselves from the earth with our rubber sole shoes. You know, we should talk about this, because we could create a shoe with something natural, and probably there would be copper involved, where, and I think actually there are people have created these shoes, it's just they're not really mainstream yet, where we're constantly being grounded. And I know there is these grounding sheets now, so you can get the benefit of grounding the whole night you're sleeping. That's great, but they're quite expensive. I've seen, I was looking at them, and I'm still on a budget. At this point I'm just segueing. Okay, little segue, just remember, I'll just write it down. Go back to the sun and earth, sun, software, earthing, grounding. Okay, so I can get back to that. Oh, now I forgot what I was going to say. What was it? Maybe I'm not meant to go that way. That completely left my head just by writing that. So what was I saying? Okay, the grounding. Oh, okay. So everything is energy, right? And it's also consciousness. Conscious energy. I should write that down, but I might get lost. Conscious energy. And I realized that through the generations, and I found on my mother's side, had picked up in life a generational scarcity. So from what I'm gathering, it's been passed down through the generations on my mother's side, and it's a feeling, and it's a mindset and a belief system in lack, that there's not enough, and that there is a poverty, a potential poverty. And I know too, like with my mum, she was born in the war, and then after the war there was still a lot of restrictions. And you know, my nana, during the war and before that, there was scarcities, there was rations, there was what do they call them, not vouchers, where they would get, what is it called, it's not a voucher, but they would get coupons to go get stuff, from what I'm gathering. Anyway, and I think this went down the line. So I also, as I'm understanding, it's not only through the patterns and the belief systems and how it plays out in the physical reality. I think, I am highly suspicious that this also carries down through the DNA. So that came through to me. Yay! And I've spent some big time in poverty and scarcity, to that point of no home, no car, and just carrying what I had with my partner at the time. All we had were the backpacks on our back, and just enough. I remember turning up in Queensland with enough to buy a can of pineapple juice and some noodles, and then going, okay, we're going to have to get work. And it was not easy, but we survived. But I understand poverty. I understand what it's like. And then now I've been through this amazing journey, through this ebb and flow, and definitely through the going within and really connecting with my higher self, who has been giving me the understanding of the bigger picture. I am just letting go and clearing out of my actual DNA and out of my belief systems that were passed down to me through the generations, through my ancestry, to this point now where I am seeing the difference in life. It's been a slow process, it's been gradual, and I guess that's kind of good. I can feel actually a abundance, and I can see what is there that I am allowing in. There's a slight fear, because sometimes we're not only fear of failure, we can have a fear of success and how that's going to affect our lives and all the other things that it'll bring in with that. So it's really interesting through this process to go from one extreme, and then I can really feel the other extreme there. I can actually see it. I'm seeing into I won't even call it the future, because everything is here and now. No past, no future so much. Everything is in the moment, playing out on other dimensional levels of reality. And I've been finding too, as I'm going in and out of other dimensional realities through various ways, on various planes, and it's a little bit destabilizing, because it makes it really hard sometimes to just be here right now in the moment. But that's okay. I'm navigating. I am doing my best to find information and knowledge and people who are talking about similar things, so I can have a bit of an understanding and not feel completely crazy, which I know I'm not, because I've never felt more not crazy, which is ironic, because I know sometimes when I have conversations with people, they're like, holy shit, what are you talking about? But what I'm finding, there's more and more people that are receptive to the fact that there's more to this reality, and then more and more people already on that journey themselves, and then we're having some amazing conversations through space and time, which doesn't really exist, but we're exploring that. And then more and more people that aren't really there yet, but they're so open to it because they just know, they've got this suspicion as well that I remember having, going, there is so much more, but I can't put my finger on it. I remember that feeling of knowing there was something more, and this is like a progression. I don't think we just have what some people call an awakening. I feel like it keeps happening. So if we use the word awakening, it's like, is an awakening, and another awakening, and another awakening, and another awakening, and it just keeps going. And sometimes there's this, sometimes it can go like this, you kind of expand and then kind of settle back in a little bit and expand. I don't think you ever expand, settle back in to where you were. It's only a little bit in, and it depends on your circumstances and also who's around you in your energy, because energy is more real than like our body and our stuff and everything. It's our energy, which is the thing we should be all looking at the moment, is the fact that we are more energetic beings, more like light beings. We're definitely more, you might have heard the term, spiritual beings having a human experience. And often, as there is this simulation / hologram theory, and scientists, even the flabbergasting percent, and I don't know if I've totally subscribed to percentages. I feel like sometimes they're somewhat made up to a point. But just to use it for a moment, 94% chance, there's a 94% chance that this isn't real. I have mentioned this in another video, but isn't that wild? And it's not 94% chance this is real and there's a 6% chance that it's not. 94% chance that this is not as real as we thought, and we'd be leaning into the simulation or the hologram theory, the universal hologram. We're all a fractal fragment of the universe, so therefore we all have access to what everyone else does. No, even though there's people who do wonderful, amazing things in the world, whether it be in sport or art or music or psychic gifts, mediums, channels, we all have access to the same gifts because we are all a part of the divine spirit, the universal energy, the Godhead, the God force, whatever we want to put a name to it. And that's another thing, is we've got to remember that language is something that we've sort of created so we can communicate audibly, I guess, but it's actually quite a small percentage of how we communicate, because a lot of it is body language. Body language, and also then our energy fields that can overlap and intermingle. And we, I think we take for granted, and something I've noticed is how often our words can be misconstrued by each other, and how you might say something and someone just takes it completely off the wall, different to the way you were sending it. But I found at times, because that's the way they've interpreted it, they can grasp on and just go with it. And sometimes, often, probably this is where most arguments come from, is from misconstruation. Is that a word? It's a word now. Misconstruation of our language and how we can get muddled up with each other. Sigh. I've had a bit of experience with that. It's somewhat frustrating, but I realise I've learned something from it. So if I had not had that personal experience in misconstruation of language, I wouldn't now have the understanding that it happens, and it happens quite largely, on a large scale. It happens on a large scale in our reality. So perhaps we need to kind of address that with each other and just assure each other, like whenever I talk with people, I am never coming in to make someone feel less than. I never am on an attack. I always want the best for someone. And if it's taken the wrong way, then it's kind of frustrating, because I'm like, well, that's completely not where I was coming from. So I think if we all really think about it and decide, no, I want to be part of a better world, so I'm going to make sure when I do interact with people, I'm not attacking, I'm not coming in a negative sense, even though that doesn't mean if someone's doing something, you should always stand firm and have your boundaries and speak up for yourself. But it's not so much what we say, it's how we say it. You can stand firm and grounded in your beliefs or your stance for anything in particular, but you can do it with a smile, you can do it with love, you can say, I hear you, I love that you're coming from that perspective, but I'm coming from here, and with the utmost of love and care for you and myself, this is where I'm at. And I don't know if we're doing enough of that. I don't know if we're talking enough amongst each other about the important subjects. And I think this particular thing I'm just about to dip my toe on in, I probably should have started at the start because it's a whole other conversation, is the fact that when we look at the world and what's going on, the fact that we still have wars playing out, we still have poverty, we still have children suffering, children disappearing, children who are abused, adults who are abused. We still have a crazy punishment jail system, and we still have like problems with our money and how we deal with the fact that we're trying to keep some sort of order, but I don't actually think it's working, because even if I go back to the percentages, and it could be wrong, apparently 1% of the population on the planet has 99%, sorry, of the wealth, and the 99% of the population have 1% of the wealth. I don't know about you, but that doesn't really sit well. It doesn't really sit well at all, and it makes me question, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing in this world? Why do we come here? I didn't come here to just make a buck. I don't think you probably did too. I know it's nice because of the way we've kind of set our system up. I don't know if we should swap the system for something different, like maybe even if we just change it to a like service. How do we service each other? How do we be of service to each other in balance, so that everybody's sort of taken care of, everybody's fine, we don't let anyone slip through the cracks, we look after everyone, there's no extreme classes from the very rich to the very poor. How do we do that? Oh, actually, I know. I know how we do it. I know how we do it to a certain extent. I know where we start doing it, because it's energy first. We don't go out and protest. We don't go out and fight for it. We don't go and make people feel bad. We don't shout, scream and yell. We need to start imagining it, because everything is created in energy, in the etheric, through our thoughts and our dreams, daydreams, imagination first, and that's how we build it. And I find the receiving mode is, and really we have to slow down, because receiving mode is when we are slower, when we are rested, when we are still, when we feel at peace. That's when things collapse, let's use that word, into our reality as a real thing. But we need to create it in our minds, thoughts, imaginations first, and also focus and attention. Consistency is really important. We should all be talking about it all the time, every day, conversations, and start mapping out this world that all of us would love to live in. And let's not go from A to Z. The way I am understanding it, the way that's kind of dropped in, is we've got to imagine at its fullest, at its most beautiful, where we can see not a soul is left out and everyone's happy, everyone has enough, and then reverse engineer it. But we must see the blueprint first. Okay, so I'm getting up in my minutes. I don't want this to be more than bite-sized, because I understand the short attention spans we all have, and I would like people to listen and think themselves, and maybe start, even if you just start with yourself and pen and paper, like, how would your life look? Should it be the epitome of your happiness and joy? And if you can imagine that too, without limits, without worrying about money, time, people, without trying to micromanage everyone else, just what would it be for you? And then maybe you might have some friends or a friend or family members, you could play it with the kids. Just start writing out this game of who can make the most beautiful world that makes the most people happy. Holy moly, someone make that game. I could make that game, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm in the game making mode, but someone could make it. What could we call it? The game of the most beautiful life we could ever have on earth. That would be wonderful. But things like that would be how we do create it. By fun things, games, books, cards. Have a set of cards with all these beautiful things, and then you start playing and you build your world via the cards. I don't know. something, but let's do it. Okay, I now have to go do it myself, but let me just go back quickly and recap. So go out in the sun, get your software downloads, kick your shoes off, stand on the earth. I'm actually, before I start any work, I'm looking at my patch of grass right out there. One day I might, sorry, I can't be asked taking the webcam off the computer, but I will one day. Just take it off and show you. It's really beautiful. It's just a small patch of grass, but I love it. So I'm going to start by doing that and grounding myself and allowing Mother Earth to take what's not needed and give me what is. And I'm going to dream. I'm going to imagine this wonderful, beautiful world. And you know what? You're invited. You're invited to come to this wonderful, beautiful world. And I would put out the invitation to everybody on the planet to come and be in this world with me, because I truly believe it's possible. And that is another factor too. So the sun, the earth, the dream, and belief. Only what we believe is possible can happen in our reality. So start believing in the impossible, and let's just create something so freaking beautifully wild and amazing that it will just blow our freaking little minds, and then our generations ahead, our children and our children's 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 children's, eternally, forever and ever, are just living a wonderful, beautiful, exciting dream of an adventure. Wow, that is something I am looking forward to, because I know it's coming. I know it's here, and I know it's in our cards. It's on our path. It's just a matter of how quickly, even though I don't know if I want to use that word because we're meant to slow down, of how much in ease and grace we allow it to flow on in. Okay, well that's me. I am like racking up the minutes here, so I'm going to go. Maybe if I edit out some ums and ers and you knows, that might bring it down a bit. But wherever you are around the world, I hope you're having a beautiful morning, arvo, evening. I'm sending much love, and I will pop out and I'll pop back in probably tomorrow.